Hey, what's up? It's me, JDS4696, and today I'm going to be giving a film review for Wonder Woman. And this is the fourth film in the DC animated original film series. As you can see, this is the version I have of it, which is the DVD. So basically, this is like an animated film about Wonder Woman, and I think like the first true like Wonder Woman animated film they ever made. Like this like a true it gives like an origin tale and everything like that about her. So I think this is the first one. It's a pretty cool film. It's pretty decent. I enjoyed it a lot. Now it features like the voices of I only know like some of these people like Alfred Molina. I know Rosario Dawson. You have Oliver Platt, Virginia Madison, John DiMaggio. I know those actors and actresses. But they provide the voices of like the characters in this film, which I'm gonna touch on right now. So yeah, this is like the first like full-length Wonder Woman film that they ever actually made, and it's animated, which I think is kind of cool. Now the film opens with like a battle between like Ares, who turns out to be the villain of the film, and it's Wonder Woman's Diana's her mother, known as I think it's Hippolyta. I think that's what they call it, Hippolyta. They have like a battle in which Ares' son's head is beheaded. So eventually, after his son is beheaded, or whatever, he is somehow conquered. And actually, like the group of like people, like heroes that take out, like warriors that take out Ares, like his son, and actually imprison him at one point, are actually women. They're like a group of warriors known as the Amazons, and they're nothing but all women. So I thought that was kind of interesting, that you see like a group of like warriors, like heroes basically, but they're all women, and they take out Ares, and they imprison him. So eventually, that's kind of what the film is about. Like eventually, like years later, Hippolyta, I think that's how you say. Well, okay, I just say cause I was trouble saying the name. Like Wonder Woman's mother. She gives birth to like Wonder Woman, but she's actually created from sand, which I thought was kind of interesting too as well. Like when the film opens, right after the battle of like Ares and stuff, where his son's head is beheaded and stuff, you see her like actually forming the sand, which will become like Diana, who will become Wonder Woman eventually. So yeah, eventually like Ares, like he himself is like in prison, and in turn for him being in prison, the Amazons, they were actually granted the island of Demascara, which is like the main island of I think like Wonder Woman, where her people, whatever, where they actually like live at. And it's actually on Earth, but it's like a hidden, like isolated island that nobody knows about. So that's where they have Ares as a prisoner, and eventually Diana is like born from like sand that her mother had put together and molded her with. So they actually like a century later, a millennium later, you have like the American fighter pilot known as Steve Trevor. He's like actually like having like an airplane battle, like a dog fight over the hidden island. He manages to like crash, Well, actually they make the island invisible. Make it visible where he can see it. So after the dog fight that he has with like the enemy that he's fighting or whatever, he actually crash lands on Demascara, which is like the hidden island, where like Diana, is at and stuff, So he meets like the Amazons, like all this group or this race of like nothing but like women warriors, and they take him on, and eventually it is decided that he has to go back to like I think it's New York. So eventually, like Ares, like he manages to escape himself with the help of one of like the Amazon. I think she was an Amazon warrior that kind of like betrayed the group and stuff like that. As usual, they actually free Ares from his cell, so then he makes his way, out, and of course he wants to take over the world and stuff like that, and he wants to see revenge for his son's head being like beheaded, by Hippolyta or whatever. So in turn, at the same time, Steve Trevor is on this island too as well, and it has to be decided who will take him back to like New York City. So Diana has to fight one of her fellow warriors, and she wins the battle, and that's when they actually decide to let her take him back to New York City, and that's when she actually dons her like clothes, like her mother gives her the actual like traditional like Wonder Woman like clothes, with like the star on her head and stuff, and like like how she looks right on the cover, which always kind of cool, and kind of understand more and more why they haven't released like a whole bunch of films or anything about Wonder Woman, Because you could tell it's kind of like revealing. You know, it's cool looking, you know, but it's kind of revealing. But yeah, that's what the film is basically about. She returns, like she takes Trevor back to New York and stuff, and then she has to actually take out Ares in the end and stuff like that. It's kind of complicated, but I thought this was like a fun film. Like the animation was like good in it and stuff, you know, and it's very violent too as well. You know, it has like a lot of blood in it. You even have beheadings in it and stuff like that. You know, there's also like a lot of like fun battle scenes too as well with like Wonder Woman. You know, like this one fight she had where she's fighting this guy with like these snakes. He's like some kind of villain sent by Ares. That was cool like about it, you know. And also like some of the fights with Ares himself too, and Wonder Woman, I thought some of those was cool as well too, you know. And it had like a lot of like funny, like humorous moments to it as well, you know. And it shows how a woman can kind of be, you know, how they want to stand up and be just as strong as man and stuff like that, you know. I thought this was kind of cool. And there's also like other interesting moments, like when Diana first comes to like New York, you know, because Themyscira, it is actually on Earth, you know, but it's like a hidden, isolated island. But when she actually makes her way to New York with Steve Trevor, I like how she actually meets like this little black girl in the park, and she actually like gives her little skills on how to fight and stuff like that, basically. But yeah, I thought this is like a fun film, you know. I would definitely recommend it, and it is part of like and this is the version I have of it, and it is part of like the DC like original films collection, you know. Because you have like the main actors and actresses I recognize, you know, their names like Alfred Molina. He did the voice of Ares, who's the villain in this film. Then you have Rosario Dawson as Artemis, and then you have Oliver Platt as Hades, Virginia Madison as Hippolyta, and John Domingo as Deimos. I think that's how you pronounce his name. David McCallum as Zeus. It's a lot of familiar people here, you know. Andrea Romano as the president's advisor, you know, and the voice of Wonder Woman Diana is Kerry Russell, and then you have Nathan Fillion as Steve Trevor. He does the voice of Steve Trevor. But yeah, I would recommend this. It was a fun film, you know. Very violent. Oh yeah, you also get a glimpse of Wonder Woman's like Diana's like arch enemy Cheetah. She shows up kind of at the end, not the spoiler, you know, but she kind of shows up at the end. You know, they don't really like a strong, like no, like a major battle or anything like that, but she does show up at the end, Cheetah. Okay, yeah, this is my review for Wonder Woman, and this is PG-13, and this was like the first full-length Wonder Woman film they ever did, you know. And this is released in I think 2000, I think it was 2009 if I'm not mistaken. And I would recommend it, you know. The cool animation is fun, and it's nice getting a good look at Wonder Woman herself too, you know, as well. And this is JDS 4696, or